What's up, boys and girls? This is Spit Logic, and today I just want to quickly talk about music making, and what has changed with me since I bought the SP404 Mark II. I bought the Mark II. I actually purchased it back in December of 21, but I did not get it until July of 2022. And that's not a lot of time. I haven't had it for that long. And in that short period of time, a couple of interesting things have happened. Number one, I have used that SP404 Mark II every single day since I took it out of the box, which means I have utilized the Mark II maybe a total of five days. I've gone maybe 5 days since July till now of not using the SP404 Mark II. I can't get enough of this device, and my attention to it and my excitement towards it has not waned, not even a little bit. I would say that I am pretty proficient at using it. I know what I'm doing. I may not know all of the shortcuts or all of the intricacies, but I consider myself proficient, well-versed in how to use the SP404 Mark II, and it's only been since July. The second thing that has changed is the way that I consume music. So just to give background when I'm talking about how I consume music, my number one genre of music is hip hop. And just to be clear, so you're perfectly clear on what I mean by hip hop, I don't mean Billboard chart hip hop. I mean the real shit, the real hip hop music, the boom bap. That's what I'm talking about. Street-based, reality-based music. That is hip-hop, period, point blank. My consumption of that music has gone from me looking at albums, looking at different artists and purchasing their music, to me primarily now I listen to a lot of mixes, online mixes and online streams. So I don't listen to I don't do like Spotify where it plays one or two different pre-made, programmed, if I hit a genre. Sometimes I do that, but primarily I listen to DJs doing mixes of, a variety of music with a theme centered behind, hip hop music. And when I'm listening to these mixes, when I'm listening to this music, I can hear the beats differently now. I can hear if someone is using a drum loop or if someone is using one-shots in their drum sequences. I can hear when someone is using a vinyl simulation on their sample or on their melody or whatever, or when it is actually something that is directly off of an actual record. It sounds very strange, but I think there are some artists that probably understand what I'm talking about. You can hear those little minute differences in the beats when you're listening to them. And again, I am a lyric guy. I love lyrics. That's my number one thing that I listen to when I listen to hip hop music. But now I'm paying attention to these beats, and it makes a huge difference on my appreciation of the music. Just in my ear, I can hear it, and it's so blatant to me. So in my head, I'm thinking all these producers, if I'm talking about a Madlib or Jay Dilla or, all of these outstanding legendary producers that used all this kinetic material to make their beats. How acute is their hearing if they've been doing it for years? Also, I would say that my taste in music listening has shifted. So before I got the Mark II, look, I'm an open-minded person. Let's say 80% of the music that I consume is hip hop music. The other 20% can span around all different genres of music: funk, jazz, reggae, rock and roll, opera, orchestra. It does not matter. I will listen to anything. But I find myself, when I talk about a secondary genre of music, drawn toward sample ready music, music that I can sample. I listen to that a lot more than I listen to anything else. So right now, my aesthetic, what I want to hear, I'm looking for, let's say, 1960s love ballad music, 1980s smooth jazz music, 30s, 40s, 50s bebop jazz music, 60s and 70s piano-based jazz music. I have a particular aesthetic of the type of music that I want to listen to. And just as an example, I'm a runner. I like to run a lot. And every weekend, every Saturday, I typically do my long runs. When I do my long runs, I like to prepare what I'm going to listen to during the 1.5 to 2 hour run that I end up doing. So prior to getting the Mark II, I would listen to like hip hop. I would listen to high energy, something that would keep me motivated, keep me running, and keep me going. Now, I find myself listening to top 100 love ballads of all time, or hits from the 1960s. This is the kind of music that I'm listening to now, because as I'm running, I'm making a mental note. This song I need to relook at and listen to it again, because I think I heard a sample that I can use. My thinking is completely different now when it comes to my consumption of music. I think the fourth thing that has probably shifted or changed in the way that I exist in this world is I've become a little bit more kinetic in other things that I do. So using the Mark II, I'm touching pads, I'm pushing buttons. In addition to that, I used to spend a lot of time typing my lyrics. So I would listen to a beat and I would sit in front of a computer and I would just type the lyrics down. Now I have this notebook, and I've always have like a notebook. I have done nothing but write in that notebook now. I don't type my lyrics up, and even songs that I've completed, that I've completely written down, I still haven't transferred them onto the computer by typing them in, just because I don't feel like doing it. But every night, right next to my bed, so a couple of things that I do at night. I have 3 options when I go to bed. My number one option is my Kindle. I have a Kindle paper, so I always have a book that I read to help me go to sleep. My second option is my notepad, and I have a notepad that I will write down my lyrics. It's my rap book. Maybe it's 4 options. My third option would be like a puzzle game, Sudoku or logic puzzle game. But then my fourth option is the Mark II. I take the Mark II with me to bed, and I don't even make a beat when I'm in bed. It's not about the beat making. I just take a sample, or I take a sound, and I just see how it sounds by manipulating the effects. All I do is I just play with sound. I manipulate sound and manipulate it with effects. Anyway, I don't know what all this means. I don't know if this is for the better or for the worse. I love music. I love hip hop, and I don't think there's a problem with this change, but I have just kind of noticed how my habits have shifted, and maybe it's my life reshifting and recentering based on the SP44 Mark II. This is a game changer, and maybe it's a life changer for me. Anyway, what do you think? Those of you who are beat makers, whether you do it over DAWs, MPC1, SP44 Mark II, SP44SX, any of the SPs, or any of the Kinetic beat making workstations, what are your thoughts about what I just talked about? How do you listen to music? How do you listen to other beats? Even if we're not even talking about hip hop, if you do like house or electronic or anything like that, do you listen to music differently before you started making beats versus the way you make beats now? I think it's inevitable, but I'd be curious to know what your thoughts are. Let me know in the comments. Thanks again for the view. Thanks again for the listen. And until next time, peace.